Last time on Two Fat Guys Pool List.
The nice house on the lake, which this is your pick of the week, yes?
This is my pick of the week, for sure.
And it's my pick of the week, so Fusion Dance.
That's the guys. Pick of the week.
I can't get my fingers in the screen.
Or I have to go up. And you got to go down. Yeah, we're going to turn out to be like the fat Go Tanks, but we're already fat, so that's like a basic transformation.
We're just
You still there? Your audio kind of cut out there a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You like digitize. Anyway, so this is
My
our pick of
Android
the week.
came out.
I'm gonna let you break this down because I know like you're super excited about it, and then I'll just like sprinkle my excitement over you.
Okay.
You.
So I think one caveat we have to do, because it seems like at least Jaden said he's going to pick this up, but that I'm assuming he hasn't read it yet. And we can't ruin the big reveal. Okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Can't ruin it. And I think we can be as enthusiastic as we need to without ruining that part.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah, for sure.
so this book starts out in a fourth wall breaking Quentin Tarantino future setting. And what I mean by Quentin Tarantino is we start in the future and then we go back. But it literally starts with one of the main characters staring straight forward and like talking to the reader. And she is basically like in tattered clothes, has something wrapped around her head, looks like she had an injury to the eye, band-aid over the nose, like seems like she's pretty injured. And she basically tells this story of how she met this mysterious guy at a random birthday party one day. And he talks to her and basically says like, how do you think the world will end? Like, what do you think might happen? What's a realistic way that the world might end? And they just talk about that for a little bit, and that's like a weird kind of conversation that they have. And even after that party is over, they kind of continue that. They like every once in a while he'll text her, she'll text him, and they'll just be like, "Oh, about our conversation," and they'll just randomly start talking about it again. And it kind of seems flirty, kind of seems
Yeah, like what are you having for breakfast? Oh yeah, by the way, how do you think the world's gonna end again?
right. And they're talking about these post-apocalyptic settings and stuff like that.
Right.
And then it literally cuts to this really cool panel that we do this a couple of times, where there are actual pages like emails and stuff. Like it actually looks like a computer screen or whatever it is, a phone screen at one point. And this guy that she really doesn't know that well, but does kind of know, invites her out to this lake house getaway in Wisconsin.
That's not creepy.
And basically he's like, hey, I'm inviting a bunch of people out here. Like we've all, variously fallen in and out of touch over time. I think it'd be cool to get everyone together. Let's have a big, nice getaway on this really awesome lake house that my friend's letting me use for free. I think it'd be great. And this, our main character being the artsy type, free spirit kind of gal, like, yeah, what's up? Let's do it. Like, sounds good.
Barbarossa, what up? Thank you for the subscription.
Thanks.
Live sub.
I forgot we had one of those.
Yeah, right. I need to change those to the Street Fighter versus X-Men.
Yes. Anyway, so she shows up to the lake house, and we proceed to basically get an introduction to all of our characters. And not only is this a great way to introduce the characters to us as a reader, but it's something that's happening in the story. Walter, the main guy, has basically set up like an identity for everybody so that they can sort of get to know other people better, and you just have ways to kind of break the ice. So our main character, she is known as the artist, Ryan. You also have the comedian, David. You have the accountant, the scientist, the reporter, the consultant. You get the picture. Pianist, doctor. Like we get all these different characters, and then we get just Walter, who doesn't have his own introduction. But you will notice,
Walter.
You will notice as each of these people are being introduced, there's a little box about them, and it says, it's really interesting. It's like, says their name, and it also is like a codex of how Walter knows these people. Literally, they're identified in what clusters he knows them from. One of them says high school cluster. The other one says New York cluster. And first encountered, not first met, first encountered 19 years ago, blah, 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 blah. And then each one has its own symbol.
Which we see on the cover there.
Yes. So what you see on the cover just below the nice house on the lake is each symbol for each different person and the things. Also, Flores says he was just watching last week's video and saw that we were live. So that's awesome.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
We're so glad you're here.
Now you don't have to catch up. You can watch it live.
Manny, what's up? Man, I'm sorry. I keep on butting into your review.
You're good. No,
we got
you're
people in
good.
chat that need to be recognized.
Addressed. And so basically what we do is we get very much like an introduction, like little montage where Ryan is walking around. There's one particular person that she knows. I cannot remember that character's name, but
there's a couple of them. I thought there were a couple of people that she knew. Like there's
but she is roomed up with Nora, the writer.
Okay.
Who is a transgender character as well. I really like that representation being present in this book.
I like how how Tynion or Tynion, Tynion,
yeah.
how he dropped that in. So, like you were saying, they've got those character cards essentially, and then it said like because some of them have in red like head of the Democratic Party or something like that, and with Nora, right? Nora.
Yeah, Nora.
On hers it says what does it say? It says something like it's changed.
Says name and gender revised 5 years
revised
ago.
Yeah, I was like, that's clever. Like I like that a lot.
Yeah, and there's a couple of people that have government links, and so in big bold red letters it says government links. I feel like I'm going way too into
okay,
it.
All right.
But,
well, yeah. So
but basically,
yeah, go for it.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
No. This is your. I wasn't gonna pick this book up until you were like, bro, to go pick up this book.
So we basically get a little bit of like a montage, segment where Ryan's getting walked around the house, first by Nora, and then she gets picked up by another character, and they're just kind of going around, and we're learning a little bit about each character. We're getting little snippets of their conversations and stuff, and it very much already has this like the art to me has this super classic, Last House on the Left. Sort of cabin fever, Hills Have Eyes, sort of just like a lot of like sit back panels and then up close panels. Like to me, just the horror element setup is really, really good.
Also the spreads. I think there's like at least 3 spreads in this book that are just like absolutely gorgeous. Like when they reveal that, spreads. Yeah, like when they reveal the house on the lake, I was like, holy shit! Like I'd put that up on my wall, like.
Yeah,
that looks so good. And then, like you said at the beginning of the book, where our main character is talking to us, like literally talking to the reader, and it just throws you in, and you're like, like it's very colorful, it's very graphic, and not in like when I say graphic, like just very detail oriented. And I immediately when I opened the book, because I was like, I don't know about this, and then when I hit that first page, I was like, yeah, no, this is. Yeah. This looks really good.
The art is phenomenal in this book. And as an aside, I believe Tynion worked with Bueno on Detective Comics on his run of Detective as well, and so that makes me want to go like buy that omnibus right away because
for sure.
These two paired up. Even just from this one issue, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
But basically, Walter shows up. Night falls, and everyone's just sort of chilling out by the pool. It's nighttime. Walter's grilling up some food. People are just sort of chatting. And one thing that keeps coming up is that no one has reception, that they can't get their phone to work. But then we pan to Ryan sitting in her chair, and it turns out that her phone does work. And I am not going to give away what she sees on her phone, but what she sees. I wonder
why.
Why she has
why she has reception? Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if that was on. Surely that had to have been on purpose. I think.
No,
like she was
Walter. Yeah.
So something is something.
This is really hard to like give a review and not spoil it because I know like a lot of people in chat haven't read it. Go read it.
So we're almost there. So
Yep.
and then we can. So something extreme happens. That Nora or that Ryan sees on her phone. They all go inside. They check the TV to see if it's real. It's real. And that is a big shock on its own. Like, what happens is fucked crazy. It's crazy. And then we get another reveal. Yeah, Manny says, I feel like Walter wanted her to tell everyone. I think so
doubt.
too. Like, I just want to know why was she chosen? I mean, obviously we're seeing that through her eyes, so it makes sense that she would be the one.
And her symbol is the artist, right? She's the artist.
She's the artist, yeah.
Artist, okay.
So they go inside and they, see that yes, this indeed is real, and I'm gonna think of how to. There's a confrontation with Walter.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Before you go any further, if you're watching this live now, put us on mute. We're gonna spoil. No, come on. I want to. It's so much fun. I want to talk about it.
I don't care. I don't want to. We're gonna have to do it later.
When?
On a live show when people just did it. I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to spoil it right now. I don't spoil it.
Mandy's like, please spoil it. I want to talk about it because he read it too.
Something. We get a second big drop that Walter is not
Walter.
Walter. It's not how he appears. No. And that our main characters are stuck in this house. So
on the lake.
On the lake, yes, the nice one, the nice house on the lake. So there's so many little. Jaden's like, no,
on mute.
there are so many little tidbits in here that the story blew me away. Just first of all, the first time I read through it, I was just like, I don't know, it's right up my alley. I don't know. Did you ever watch Cloverfield when it first came out?
Yeah.
So Cloverfield came out when I was like 16, about 15, 16 years old. I was at the time I was a RTVF, wanting to be major. Obviously, I was in high school, so I wasn't a major yet. But like that was what I was going to school for. I was taking film classes in high school, and I saw Cloverfield, and it was just so different than everything.
People want
than everything we had seen before.
People in chat want us to talk about it. I think we should just talk about it. Jaden's on mute. Lee, if you're here and you want to read this book, put us on mute.
Fine.
Here we go.
This is the warning.
What up, Maddie? 3, 2, 1. We're gonna talk about it. Here we go. Okay. So the reveal is what Ryan sees on her phone is essentially people posting on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the social sites about just straight up chaos or their personal experience of what's going on. People are bursting into flames. People are pulling their skin off and they can't feel it when they're pulling it off. They're dissolving. People are just literally dying.
One guy is live on Twitch when his eyeballs suddenly just absolutely burst into flames.
Yeah.
And then flame starts pouring out of his mouth and elbows.
So I think what the beautiful part about that page is we're saying all these things. Most of it is all text. Most of it is all like description. So you're not really seeing these things happen. So your brain really fucks with you. Like, well, what would that look like? Where would it start? So there's the first oh shit bomb dropped in this book. So Ryan sees all of this. She sees Anderson Cooper just explode on live TV. And people are, New York is first to fall. Then it hits Chicago. Then there's a tweet about the president dying. Everything is going to shit in a matter of minutes. So she runs back to the house where everybody is, where everybody is basically chilling out. They're chilling out with Walter. Walter is just cooking up hamburgers and having drinks, and there's people in the pool, and it's just a good old time. And she goes and runs with her phone and basically is like, hey, the world is ending. it's falling apart. And so everybody is, at first they're like, there's no way this can be real. This has to be fake. And they run into the house to watch the TV, watch TV to see if it's real, and it is, and like an emergency broadcast thing is going off. So it's clearly real. Shit is going down, and as this is happening, people in the house are like, "Well, we need to get out of here. We need to get back to like Milwaukee and go figure out what we need to go do." And that's when Ryan's kind of looking at Walter like, "Hey, we should figure this out." And he's just kind of got like this shit-eating grin on his face, kind of like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen." And so he continues to tell everyone, "Hey, by the way, you can't leave the house. Everyone you knew is either dead or is dying. I have selected all of you to be here to stay alive for the rest of your days. This is where you live now." Like, that's it. And then I think he says a couple more things, and Nora is like, "Fuck this shit." And she pulls out a golf club and swings at Walter's face. And the golf club goes through his face. And when I say through, not like she killed him, but his face like morphs out like, "Bleh," and it like basically the golf club phases through his face, but his face is all like discombobulated and his jaw's like 3 feet this way. And as that's happening, I think she gets like some energy send off from him, and it like her wrist blows up or something like that.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what happens to her too. So, because like the panel before it, you can see like her arm is literally like twisting like way unnaturally.
Yeah.
And then the next panel shows like blood coming out of it, and so it seems like something pretty severe happens to her arm that you don't see after that.
Right. So then Walter goes on to say, "Hey, I know this is going to be like a hard transition for you, that your world is ending and that you're going to stay alive on this house, but it'll just take some time." And then he says the creepiest fucking thing in the entire book, for me personally.
Yeah.
He goes, "I love you all, but I'm going to go now. I'll be back later."
Yeah.
And I read that and I was like, ugh. Like, I had to like, I was sitting here reading in my media room, and I know I have comics behind me, but I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm good. I'm
Walter's
good.
behind you, watching you.
Yeah. And so the book ends with Walter leaving, and they're all stuck on the nice house on the lake.
Yeah. So the story itself is amazing. Like, it's really good. But then when you go back through, I feel like I haven't even picked up all of the different little hidden Easter eggs yet.
Right.
But like, it seems as if each of these books is going to be told from the perspective of each character. So the first symbol that we have here is the artist, and Ryan is the one who is narrating this issue. Also, I don't know if you can see it on you can see that her symbol is yellow on this book.
Right.
So the next one, I don't remember what symbol that is, but whoever that is probably going to be our narrator for the next issue. That is
book 1 or book
that
2.
is the pianist, Rick.
Okay.
So I imagine he will be the main one telling the story next time. And another thing is, like, throughout the whole series, or throughout all of the art, everybody's face, like, the art here is a little abstract, a little bit, not very, but a little bit. But everyone's face is pretty obvious, but Walter's face is never full. His glasses are always colored completely white. You can never see his eyes. And most of the time his face even is like halfway in shadow. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that.
Also,
and
go for it. I'm sorry. No.
I was just gonna say, finally, art-wise, I feel like Bueno did a really good job of making you feel like this was going the, like, there's a murderer coming after us, Jason, or there's zombies outside, zombies in the forest, they're gonna come get us, or like crazy swamp lake people are gonna come get. Like, I just was not. This is not the direction I was expecting it to go in the absolute slightest bit.
And also Tynion's writing did that as well. Like, it was just so
sure.
like, but at the same time not, because you get these first panels and there are these like abstract shape statues that are littered in the world prior to us jumping into the actual story. So like when we, like we said, the Tarantino of it all, where we're at the back end. So like if you look at the first panel, she's sitting in front of one of these giant, like I don't know what that is, right? It's like a statue symbol, and then when she continues to go into the forest, they're littered through the steps of where she's at, right? And like
In front of the house, right?
yeah, and that had me intrigued right off the bat. I was like, wait, this is like some, I don't know, like you're in like a different ring of hell kind of thing. Like, Tynion did a great job, and then like you said, Bueno is just doing. His artwork is fantastic, and I was not expecting that at all. Like I didn't know what to expect out of this book, to be absolutely honest with you. And I picked it up on a whim because like I went to go get our DC books on Friday, or at least our other half that we didn't get. And I was talking to RJ, and she pulled your books, and that was the first book she pulled. And I looked at it, and I was like, "Be honest, RJ, should I pick this up?" And she said, "Do you like Department of Truth?" I was like, just give me it.
Just
Give me the book. And I don't know why I doubted it, because it's Tiny Onion, and I love him. And I'm gonna call him that for the rest of this show's existence.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's so good. I'm gonna tell Jacob tomorrow when we go to the store, hey, put this in my, like, I will sub to this. Give me all of them. I just don't know. Like, we talked about it via text, and you were saying basically that Onion is basically your new, like, your favorite writer. Like,
there's no doubt.
Favorite writer. And yeah, he's in my top 5 for sure. Like, this is my only concern. And I know that you didn't think I'd ever say it, my only concern with our pick of the week would be. The only thing that I want to say is because there's such parallels with Something's Killing the Children and Department of Truth right now, in the sense of like making up your reality kind of thing. Okay. I just hope, my only thing is I hope that's not in this book at all. That's all. Like I
can agree to that.
I just hope that's not part of this premise, because if that's the case, then is Tiny Onion like building a build your own reality multiverse, or universe, if you will, MCU. But no, this book is, like I'm almost frustrated that it's my pick of the week, but I'm not, because this week was kind of meh when it came to like books this week, and so I was waiting for that one book to hit, and it literally was the last book I read this week.
That's funny.
So.
Well, there you go. That's it. I guess we gushed enough. I wanted Jaden to get back in here.
Yeah. All right, Jaden. We're switching to the next book. So
unmute anybody. He's muted.
Oh, well,
how are they gonna hear us?
Okay, we'll move it. So that is again our.
That's the guys. Pick of the week.
Wish I could hear it.
Just watch it back. This is like the first video I'm going to put out once I cut up the episodes. So.